Boeing Starliner spacecraft is now safely back on Earth, and now we're hearing directly from the former crew of the crew flight test mission.
It's been quite an evolution over the last 3 months. We've been involved from the beginning through all the processes of assessing our spacecraft, Calypso, and it was trying at times. There were some tough times all the way through. You certainly, as the commander and the PLT of your spacecraft, you don't want to see it go off without you.
2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V.
NASA astronauts Butch, Wilmore, and Suni Williams successfully lifted off from Cape Canaveral back on June 5th. NASA and Boeing leaders were comfortable with their understanding of a small helium leak that developed prior to launch. However, during the rendezvous to the International Space Station, 4 additional helium leaks and issues with 5 of the spacecraft's 28 reaction control system thrusters cropped up. NASA and Boeing spent more than 2 months analyzing the data and doing additional testing, both on the Starliner spacecraft on orbit as well as on the ground. As a result of these tests, Boeing reached the conclusion that Starliner was safe for a ride home for Wilmore and Williams. But in late August, after more than 2 months of testing and analyzing these RCS thrusters, NASA decided that Starliner would come home without its crew on board.
We've had a lot of tense discussions, right? Because the call was close, and so people have emotional investment in either option, and that gives you a healthy discourse. But after that, you have to do some work to keep your team together, right? To keep your team restored and ready for the next issue. And I'll acknowledge that we have some work to do there. It's pretty natural whenever you've had a difficult decision to make. But we're aware of it, and we'll work it. And we're committed to continuing to work with Boeing.
Wilmore says he believes that they could have reached a point where Starliner was their return vehicle, but the shot clock ran out.
We just simply ran out of time because there's other tests that need to be done and other assessments that need to be done. And had we had a little more time, then we could have done it. And why didn't we take the time? Well, it's the International Space Station. We've got 7 people, 7 USOS crew on board, 12 total, and we've been 6 on board for quite some time. And to staff the space station with 6 people, we've done it well, I think, over the last couple of months, but it's not prepared for that long term. And so we had to make some decisions on a timeline. And the timeline came to the point to where we had to decide, is Starliner coming back with us or without us? And we just did not have enough time to get to the end of that runway where we could say that we were going to come back with it. I think we'd have gotten there, but we just ran out of time.
Williams says that hearing the final decision wasn't easy, but she admired the process.
I was really impressed. There were a lot of opinions. There was a lot of data coming in at different times, and a lot of people trying to digest that data and understand it and take it forward. I think it was really impressive for our leadership and our management to take the time and listen to everybody's opinion and really try to understand where all of that was going.
After that decision point, flight operators, both with the Boeing CFT mission and with the space station, conducted simulations of an uncrewed undocking of Starliner. Meanwhile, on the ground, NASA and Boeing ran a dress rehearsal of the landing and recovery sequence for the Starliner crew capsule at the White Sands Space Harbor. Once those were completed successfully, it was showtime for the spacecraft named Calypso. Wilmore and Williams were busy getting the ISS reconfigured for Starliner's departure as it left.
Separation confirmed. Starliner is now backing away from station and starting its return to Earth.
We were up in the cupola, and we were watching our spaceship, fly away at that point in time. So I think it was good we had some extra activities. Of course, we're very knowledgeable about Starliner, so it was obvious, what was happening at each moment. We were talking to our control team. People, friends of ours that we know how much time and effort that they have put into this spacecraft, the excellent and precision activities that they're doing down on the ground. It was nice to have that, one-on-one conversation over the space to ground as Starliner was leaving, just knowing that she was in their hands and they were going to do the best that they could to get her back home.
Starliner's journey back to Earth went largely as expected, with a picture-perfect touchdown, according to NASA's Commercial Crew Program Manager, Steve Stitch.
Touchdown.
Starliner is back on Earth.
He says they'll learn a lot about the path forward over the next month.
We're going to take our time to figure out what we need to do to go fly Starliner 1 right. You know, we've laid out right now, manifest-wise, we have that flight booked next year in the second slot of the year. The first thing we'll do when we get the vehicle back is continue to look at all the data, look at the thruster performance for this phase of flight in detail. And then we already have these teams that I've talked about established. They're going to start meeting weekly on looking at the design changes required in the helium system to eliminate the leaks. And then can we fly the vehicle different? Can we change the thermal in the doghouses? What testing do we need at White Sands? It'll take a little time to lay that out and then get into the testing. And then, you know, I think we'll see where we're at in another month or so, and then we'll have a little bit better idea of what the overall schedule will be.
Once Starliner is ready to leave the White Sands Space Harbor, it'll be on the road for about a week before it arrives at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
It'll be brought back here to this facility where the first thing they'll do is plug it in, download all the data that's been stored on the spacecraft during the flight, and then start going through the hardware itself piece by piece to learn as much as they possibly can about the CFT mission before they start moving ahead, really full steam, towards Starliner 1.
Before Starliner launched on the CFT mission, Spaceflight Now spoke with Mark Sorensen, the Starliner's CFT crew module lead at Boeing. He said at the time, it was the human-related elements that he was particularly looking forward to digging into once Starliner made its way back to the Commercial Crew and Cargo Processing Facility, or C3PF.
The first thing we do is open it up and download the data. There's a bunch of stored data. There's data that we get during the mission. There's a lot more data that we store on the vehicle. And so all of our engineering teams are dying, right? This is a test flight. We have a lot of objectives we're trying to satisfy and understand, especially with crew on now. So there's some special things that, right, for like the environmental control systems and how we take out carbon dioxide and how we handle the humidity from the crew. All that stuff is going to get proven out now. So those teams are sitting there waiting with bated breath for that information. So that's our job, to get that off the ship as soon as we can, get them back so they can start all that analysis.
The post-flight analysis on Starliner's crew flight test will determine what the next flight looks like. During the post-landing news conference, Stitch was unable to say what the scope of that mission, though, will be.
I would say it's probably too early to think about exactly what the next flight looks like. I think we want to take the steps to go look at all the data. Certainly our goal is to get to the rotation flight. Our goal all along has been to have, you know, one flight a year, one flight from Boeing Starliner and another flight from SpaceX with Dragon. So it'll take a little time to determine the path forward. But today we saw the vehicle perform really well. We've got some things we know we've got to go work on, and we'll go do that and fix those things and then go fly when we're ready.
In the short term, NASA and SpaceX are preparing to send a SpaceX Crew Dragon up to the space station with just 2 crew members on board. This Crew 9 flight will be Wilmore and Williams' ride home once it undocks in February.
We're excited to fly in 2 different spacecraft. I mean, we're testers. That's what we do. You know, we look at different aircraft, spacecraft, whatever, evaluate it, and that's a pretty unique opportunity. I think, like you know, this was not the very first option. We wanted to take Starliner to the completion and land it back on land at home. But, you know, you have to turn the page and look at the next opportunity and, you know, do good for the agency and the country. And we'll come back with some evaluations of both spacecraft, and I think we're pretty fortunate for that.
Wilmore and Williams will continue to participate in science and station upkeep until their journey back to Earth. And soon, Williams will officially take on a new role for the ISS, Station Commander. Reporting for Spaceflight Now, I'm Will Robinson Smith.